Good morning and welcome to the Queen's Curry Kitchen. Today I am going to cook something, but that's later. Before that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to address the fact that how do you prepare and stock up your pantry for emergency situations. So right now in New York and I guess across the world, there's this whole panic about the coronavirus and everybody's thinking, oh well, how are we going to survive if anything happens? But we never really think of it that it could happen to us today or tomorrow, or we don't really think that it could happen to us. So not just the coronavirus, but just in general, if it's a snowstorm, just remember that your closest supermarket can only provide you food for 3 days before they get completely wiped out. So what are the things that we can buy to prepare ourselves for any contingencies or emergencies so that you can continue to feed your family well and you can continue to serve their needs without panicking, without freaking out? And the key to not freaking out is to prepare. That's the best thing that we can do. So I'm going to start with some basics that we can all stock up on. They're easily available and you can actually buy them all through the year. You don't even have to wait for an emergency before you run to the store and actually stock up. Also remember that whatever you buy, make sure it's something that your family actually always eats or enjoys. Don't try, this is not a good time for you to introduce them to foods that are too exotic or too unfamiliar. Especially if you have kids and they're picky, they will not cooperate. And the last thing you want in the middle of an emergency where you can't go out to get fresh food or you cannot have access to vegetables and fruits is a child who has not eaten well. Okay, so we are going to start with the first few items that I have listed. So let's start with like a morning routine, right? So definitely stock up on your instant coffee or coffee beans, whatever you used to. Also different kinds of tea. I'm a tea drinker, so I definitely would stock up more on tea than on coffee. Also, if you do dairy, then milk powder or non-dairy creamer, you would definitely need that. For breakfast, oats are a great option. So basically we're trying to focus on foods that require the least amount of cooking and also have a great shelf life. So just regular oats that you get in the market. There you go. Easy to make, easy to whip up. Just add some fruits or berries or syrup and you're good to go. Also, cereal is a great addition just by adding a little milk or by adding soy milk or almond milk or oat milk, whatever you have. You can actually have a quick breakfast. Butter, which of course has a great refrigerator life. You could stock up on big blocks of butter. Also, like dry cookies or this is like a cake rusk, which is from India, but typically any kind of cookies or baked goods that you would like to have with your tea that can be stored well is a good alternative to bread. We come to our starches. In our starch category, definitely nothing beats rice. It's the best starch that's available all over the world. You can do any kind, white, brown, wild rice, whatever your family likes, just get that. And about aim for 10 to 20 pounds for a family of 4 for about 2 weeks. Also, lots of pastas. So I have a farfalle, I have rotini, and also these kind of noodles that are actually like a 2-minute noodle fix, and also the rice sticks that you get in the Vietnamese or Asian supermarket. Definitely get those because they're just so easy to put together as a broth, as a ramen, or just throw it into a hot pot of boiling water and you can actually have soup if you just put in some seasonings in there. The next thing that we want to combine with our starches are some proteins, and these are some easily available proteins: black eye beans, mung beans, Bengal gram. So because I'm Indian, we have a huge legacy of proteins through legumes and beans, and in my pantry there's about 13 or 14 different kinds of legumes that we stock on an average in an average household. But if there are your family favorites, totally focus on those. Like if your family only likes garbanzo beans and only likes pinto beans, then just stock up on those. Don't buy unnecessary things that you will never use. Also, do not forget the importance of having some nuts on hand. It's great to whip up for quick energy. You can use them in some things for satiating your hunger. It's a good thing to munch on. Just don't buy too many because nuts tend to get rancid very quickly. Also, don't underestimate the importance of dehydrated foods. Like these are soy nuggets, and as soon as you soak them in hot water, they puff up like and soft and puffy. They almost have the texture of meat, and they literally taste like that. But right now, they're rock solid. So these are dehydrated, and they come to life as soon as you soak it in water. Same thing with like mushrooms, dehydrated mushrooms, dry mushrooms. Just go to an entire aisle in the Asian supermarket actually has these kind of dried and dehydrated foods that can come to life with just a little bit of hot water. So definitely look into those in your pantry to stock up as an option. Also, imagine a situation where you don't have access to fresh fruits and vegetables. Having some frozen vegetables is definitely a good idea. I know this particular vegetable might be a little too exotic for you and not something that your family eats, but if you do the Italian blend or frozen broccoli or whatever, this is a frozen spinach pack. So whatever your family eats, those are the things that you should think of stocking up. These kind of vegetables also come in cans. So you can do like a canned green beans, you can do canned beets, whatever is your family favorite, that's what you can do. Now coming to our condiments, which actually add flavor to our food, definitely have things like barbecue sauce, because that makes everything taste good, I guess, especially if you have kids. Some hazelnut or Nutella spread. Peanut butter. Oh my God, peanut butter, any kind of nut butter is a great source of protein. So it's a great thing to combat hunger with. Also prepared foods like pickles, like these, which are kind of the Indian pickle, but also any kind of preserved canned food like kimchi or any kind of prebiotic, probiotic, brined foods that you can use. Remember to have syrup or honey or sugar. If you're vegan, of course, you don't do honey, but you can stock up on maple syrup. You can stock up on sugar. That's a good alternative. Also, don't forget to get some canned goods like this is tuna. If you're vegan, of course, you won't be doing this, but you can do hearts of palm. You can do so many other canned foods that will stay good in the pantry, and they have a shelf life of about 2 to 3 years, so that's great. Also, canned tomatoes, especially if your family is a big pasta eater, then definitely stock up on pasta sauce along with canned tomatoes. I also have evaporated milk in my pantry. And most importantly, do not forget to stock up on salt, because salt is the thing that provides nutrients to our body on a daily basis, and if we are low on salt, then there's very few things that can replicate that. Also, a couple of different kinds of healthy oils that you're going to need to cook your food. And also remember, when food is in short supply, when you use oil, it helps to satiate your hunger longer. Okay, now presuming that you don't have access to a refrigerator, you don't have access to any of these things, then what are the things that you should buy? These are pre-blended spices, and on my website, they can help you make curry in a short amount of time. There's a barbecue, rub, and marinate. So if you have access to an open fire, you can still cook. These are for dry vegetables that you can stock up and use just a bag of frozen vegetables and use these. So these are some of the things that I offer on my website. These have a shelf life of about 1 year, so it's a great thing to have. You don't have to chop. You don't have to buy any tomatoes or onions or ginger or garlic. Everything is in this bag. All right, now we come to our most interesting part, which is actually making a recipe using this today, which is called the Tandoori Magic Barbecue Rub and Marinade. And the recipe that I chose to make today involves a sweet potato, which I have steamed in my Instapot. Okay, and then I have peeled it and sliced it, and this is what it looks like. So the trick here is that I'm going to use the tandoori barbecue mix, but if you don't do oil, or if you'd like to air fry these things, by all means you can do that. So I've taken this tandoori mix and I've put it in a bowl. To this I'm going to, these are just regular steamed sweet potatoes. I have not added any salt or anything at this point. This tandoori mix contains salt. It contains everything that you need for a good marinade, and all I'm doing it is just dry dredging it and dropping it in the pan. Okay, the flame, I just turned up the flame a little bit. I don't need to add any other seasoning. This is a great snack. So also, if you're trying to stock up for emergencies, make sure to buy a lot of tube vegetables like potatoes, yams, sweet potatoes, because they really stay well on the shelf, and then you can eat hearty starches from Mother Earth without having to worry about where the next meal is going to come from. You can also cook food in double batch, in double portions, and freeze them in Ziploc bags. I do have a recipe that I use for making a large batch of just the curry, like the gravy, and freezing that. If you're interested in knowing how I do that, definitely leave me a comment, and I would love to make a video on how I make my big pot of curry, and then I can add any vegetables or meats to it to get dinner on the table, and it freezes really well. Just as a rule of thumb, anything that has potatoes in it does not freeze well. So if you're making anything, just make it without the potatoes, and it will freeze well to the point that you can actually pull it out, thaw it, and eat it. Okay, so these are my sweet potatoes. Last one going on. Since they're fully cooked, you don't really need to cover this. I'm just going to quickly clean my hands, and this might need a drizzle of oil. If you like to air fry this, you totally can. That's really actually a really good idea. In the Indian culture, in the winter time, people actually take these and they steam them over hot coals, and then chop them up into bits and pieces, and then season them with chaat masala, salt, and lemon juice, and it really makes a good snack on the go. It's very popular with like school going kids and whatnot who like to grab it on their way back from school. Just gonna give it a quick flip. You can see how rich the color of this marinade is. You can use it for any vegetable of your choice. You can use it for meats. You can use it for fish. It really has everything. And it's so aromatic. You can literally smell the cumin. You can smell the cloves. You can smell the cinnamon in this powder. Everything is already done for you. It also includes salt, so you not even have to add salt to this. This is a great side dish that you can serve just before dinner or lunch. It's a great appetizer. So I just turned up the flame. You can see what a beautiful color it's getting. So this mix already has a little bit of sunflower in it, which means that it helps to caramelize everything and give a nice color to your vegetables. So you could be using it on raw vegetables. You could be using it on meat. I don't do meat, but if you have an Omni family, you can use the same marinade and the same barbecue rub to create several different dishes. I cannot even describe to you how aromatic it is right now. You won't even believe that it's a very simple, like just a very humble sweet potato that I paid like 30 cents for. Complete transformation. Okay, see how the color is building, and you don't want it to burn because you don't want to get the taste of burnt spices in your food. You can even do this successfully on the grill. Just bring your favorite vegetable, put in the barbecue mix, and then definitely put it on your grill. Any time of year is a good time to do this. Okay, so that's about done. That was easy peasy, Japanesey. Well, easy peasy Indian, not quite Japanesey. And I'm gonna take this out. Well, this one has a little bit of raw spice, so I'm just gonna sit that back down for a little bit. All of these yummy guys are done. I'm gonna take this out. I think all it needs is a little dash of lemon juice, and oh boy, are we gonna have a party in our mouth. Okie doke. The fennel, the cinnamon, oh my god, everything. As soon as it hits the hot oil or the pan, it just tastes so good. Cannot wait to taste it. This is the last one that had a little bit of spice sticking to it. So yep, those are my sweet potatoes with my Tandoori magic barbecue spice. If you liked what you saw, definitely give me a thumbs up. If you'd like more ideas about how to stock up your pantry for emergencies, or if you would like to make learn how to make the big batch of the custom sauce or the curry gravy to put in the freezer that you can use at a later date, do send me a comment and I would be happy to do a demonstration on that. Like always, thank you so much for showing your love and support, and also for all the people that have actually ordered merchandise, the spice boxes, the cookbooks. They're flying off the shelves. So thank you very much for your love and support for www.queenscurrykitchen.com. I greatly appreciate it, and I promise you, every product that you order, you will not be disappointed. It's actually the stuff that I use in my home, and I'm just making it available to you. So thank you so much for your love and support. Join me again here soon for another live video. Until then, be blissful and stay flavorful. I will see you soon. Until then, goodbye and God bless you all.